Hello and welcome to today's webinar, Jira Best Practices. I'm really excited that so many of you joined and that we can do this webinar together with our guest from Xopero, Bartosz. Thank you very much for joining.
Pleasure is mine. Thank you for your introduction and thanks for your invitation.
Sure. So before we start with today's topic, we would like to introduce ourselves, talk a bit about why backups, why are we doing that? And then I hand over to Bartosz for the live demo of GitProtect, and then we will have a Q&A part. Introduction. So my name is Szczepanski. I'm one of the co-founders of Jira Course. I'm responsible for the marketing department. I'm still working as a consultant. Over the last 15 years, Atlassian was always the tool I worked with. So during my different roles in different companies, I used Jira to organize my work. And now I'm one of the co-founders of Jira Course, and now I'm able to actually speak about it from a marketing perspective. So yeah, really excited about that. Saskia, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, everyone. I'm Saskia. I'm a business psychologist and I support Jan in marketing. And before I've started working at Jira Course almost 2 years ago, I was head of marketing for a sanitary online shop. And after that, I was responsible for the customer journey of an e-bike sharing system. And I also couldn't let go of the university. And besides that, I'm still working as a mentor for psychology and communication management. Yeah, and today I will take care of the questions. Yeah.
Cool. So some words about Jira Course. We were founded in 2019 in Riesenbeck, really big city near the Netherlands border. We consider ourselves as a cloud-first partner. So 4 years ago, we said we want to become an Atlassian solution partner, and we want to focus on the cloud. Not because the cloud was like super great, but we really thought that this will be the future and that it will become great. And it is. And maybe some of you have seen the Team 23 and the big announcements Atlassian made. So really, really great to see how the platform develops and what great features are coming there. We're a platinum solution partner and also cloud and ITSM specialized. Almost over 50 people. I don't have the exact numbers because so many people are joining. And we have over 30 plus partners, which is really, really important to us to have a partner network with partners like Xopero and other marketplace vendors. We work really closely together to provide the best customer experience and customer support and consulting. So again, I'm really thankful for Bartosz joining today. Bartosz, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, of course, absolutely. Hello, guys. Jan, Saskia, thank you very much for this invitation, and I'm really excited to take part in today's webinar. My name is Bartosz. I'm located in Poland. I'm related to Xopero Software almost since its very beginning. I work at GitProtect.io, aka Xopero Software, since 2015, so it's like 8 years now. And I graduated in Europa Universitet Viadrina in Frankfurt Oder. So I do know I do have some German skills, but I definitely prefer to speak English. And basically, I'm responsible here at GitProtect.io, aka Xopero Software. I'm responsible for everything that is related to GitProtect, and I will have this great opportunity to present you guys GitProtect in action, I believe. So once again, thank you for invitation. Enjoy.
Yeah. Maybe some words about Xopero and GitProtect.
Yeah, absolutely. We are the backup solution producer, and we have been, the company itself has been founded in 2009. it's almost 15. So we have almost 15 years of experience in backup technologies in plural, because GitProtect is not the only product that we provide. We provide also some different backup tools for more, let's say, traditional backup purposes like endpoint protection, databases protection, Microsoft 365 protection. Nevertheless, GitProtect is our flagship product. This is our diamond in our crown. And today we are going definitely to discuss it. We are operating worldwide. We are present, like our products are available on basically each continent, and the wallet of our satisfied customers is growing constantly. GitProtect itself as a product, as a platform, as a backup tool has been released in 2009. And since that time, we have had a chance to deploy it to like multiple small, medium, and quite big users. As far as I know, they are quite happy with it, and we are going to continue our journey. This year, we have made a huge milestone. We, like Xopero Software, the company itself, become compliant with ISO 27001, as well as with SOC 2. So to make a long story short, we do know how to take care about data. We know the drill. We are quite a bit specialist in this area, and such experience has been noticed by Gartner. Gartner, as you guys can see on the slides right now, Gartner recommends GitProtect as a backup tool for intellectual property protection. So that's it from my side.
Awesome. Thank you very much. So before we start, I'd like to mention that all videos of the webinar series about security and compliance will be on YouTube as well. So make sure you hit the subscribe button and click the bell so that you get information when new videos will come up. So yeah, let's dive in. Why backups, you might think? Why are we talking about backups? Is my data not backed up automatically when using a SaaS platform? Well, it depends. So we need to talk about the shared responsibility model in SaaS platforms. Overall, it's not Atlassian specific. It's within all SaaS platforms. So the question always becomes, who is responsible for the data in the SaaS applications? What is the shared responsibility model? And what are beside the data protection strategies Atlassian offers, what should I do, right? In our last webinar about Jira Data Management, we talked about that quite a lot. So I would just give you a glimpse about what the shared responsibility model is and why we should think about, is our data protected? So who is responsible, right? When we take a look at the Atlassian community, for example, and also in other communities with Salesforce, HubSpot, and stuff like that, there are always questions, how can I recover X, Z, Y? In that case, how can I recover issues that are deleted? And when we take a look at how the distribution is of where data is deleted or where we lose data, the ESG research reports, the evolution of data protection cloud service shows that more than 50% of the data is due to deletion. Service outages and data corruption, accidental deletions, malicious deletions, account closures, something like, I don't know, a user is leaving the company and the data is gone. And so what is the impact to you? Ask yourself, what type of data do you have in your Atlassian cloud and within the apps? Probably all your software development teams are working with that. All your product plans, customer requests, change management information. Your business teams, HR, legal, and finance work with that. So what would be the impact if you lose any of your data? What would happen when Jira stops for a day? Well, most of the time you would do something like this, right? So risk of losing data comes with maybe loss in revenue and reputation, definitely productivity loss. And when you are in the regulated environment, I worked 4.5 years for Pay1, payment service provider, you probably are unable to meet audits and compliance, regulations and requirements. So what's the Atlassian model? Atlassian writes in its documentation that we do not use the backups they do to revert customer-initiated destruction changes, such as fields overwritten using by scripts or deleting of issues, projects, or sites. To avoid data loss, Atlassian recommends you to make regular backups. So when we take a look at the shared responsibility model, there's obviously the Atlassian responsibility of taking care of the hosting, the application, the system, that everything is secure, that privacy is up and running, compliance, and so on and so forth. So that the SaaS service is running and everything will be back up in that regards. So let's say there's an outage that Atlassian is able to do disaster recovery, right? That's in place. But we also do have a shared responsibility when it comes to what kind of apps you install, how you inform your users of how to use the application. We had a webinar about PII protection with Polymetis apps, right? What kind of data are you allowed to add to the system? What kind of information are you allowed to write into a Jira ticket? Probably not credit card numbers or passwords, right? So you're covered with PII protection, let's say. That's an app you can install. And also with that, policy and compliance related stuff. So the last thing I would point out is what kind of types of disasters and ownerships we have here. So on the left-hand side, we do have a disaster times like data center disaster, right? Something is probably going wrong with AWS or Google Cloud platform. And we have data center breaches. That typically occurs really rarely, right? And it's the responsibility of the SaaS vendor, either AWS or Atlassian. But we also do have data breaches, third-party errors, deletion, data imports. Think about CSV imports or transfer data from one tool to another. So that is more occasionally or sometimes even frequently. And that's on the customer ownership. So when you want to know more about this topic and this shared responsibility model, which is not only available, as I said, for Atlassian, but also for other cloud solution vendors, feel free to check out our webinar about Jira Data Management with Revise. And now more about the best backup practices with Bartosz.
I will start sharing my screen. And basically, Jan, you did a great job explaining why Jira should be even protected, because like usually there is like a common misconception in this area, because very often customers they do think that, well, as long as data are stored in the cloud, such data is already protected. But basically, it's not true. Because such data is not protected. It's not protected at all. And indeed, accordingly to a shared responsibility model, to make long story short, vendor, whether it's Atlassian, whether it's Microsoft, whether it's GitHub, any other SaaS vendor, the thing is as follows. Vendor will take responsibility only for service, only for maintaining the service, granting you the access to such account, and so on and so on. But when it comes to data, it's like customers, it's on customer side, it's users' business. So indeed, sometimes such vendor even recommends to use an external tool to perform like regular backups on daily basis, on hourly basis, as often as possible, to be able to restore data whenever it's needed. That is why GitProtect, like here internally at Xopero Software, we decided to release GitProtect as a backup tool for, basically for DevOps. We like to call ourselves the one and only professional backup vendor for DevOps industry that is able to cover all of most popular DevOps tools, including Jira, including Bitbucket, including GitHub, including GitLab as well. So what's included to such protection, you may ask? And basically, GitProtect is able to protect your entire Jira instance with everything that's inside, including projects, including issues, roles, workflows, and so on. And the same applies to different services like Bitbucket, GitHub, and GitLab. Besides repositories itself, GitProtect also protects all metadata that is associated with such data, with such repositories. And sometimes it may happen that metadata is even more important than the data, itself. That is why this is so important to be able to protect the data. Today, I'm not going to talk to you about Bitbucket protection, GitHub protection, GitLab protection. Today, we are going to focus purely and exclusively on Jira protection. And to be more specific, we are going to discuss Jira Backup best practices that can be implemented with GitProtect. And what's more important, I'm going to show you, in action, how to implement such best practices to be sure that if anything unexpected happens with your Jira instance, you will be able to remain productive, to retrieve the access to your instance, no matter what happened to such instance. Because as you said, there might be some accidental deletion, intentional deletion. Atlassian may have some outage. It happens from time to time, not that often, but still from time to time. So it's good to know the answer to the question, what do I do if something happens? And such answer is included to next slides that explain best practices. In our opinion, best practices, what should be included to good, reliable backup environment. And I decided to divide the answer to this question into few, let's say, segments that are related to, for example, backup performance. We know that there are some different backup tools on the market, similar to GitProtect. But basically, those backup tools are not providing you such flexibility in terms of, for example, backup schedulers. Because we decided that basically, Atlassian administrators, they do know best how often such backup should be executed, and leaving the administrator without possibility to impact the backup scheduler is not a good option. We need to have an option to modify the backup frequency to decide how often backup is going to be done. What's more important, it's to be able to send the copies of your Jira instance to different locations, right? Because let's imagine the situation that you are using, for example, some main storage, and sub-storage becomes unavailable. What do? You do nothing, because you simply do not have any other copy located somewhere else. That is why we decided to allow our users to bring multiple storages, to set up multiple backup plans, backup tasks, backup jobs, whatever we will call it, and simply perform backup to multiple locations. Even if one storage will become unavailable, our customers are able to get an access to the data from different locations, from additional storage. Also, we leave the final decision in terms of retention to the customers. Theoretically and practically, GitProtect allows you to set up any retention. It's up to you how long GitProtect will keep your data, will store your data, or if you have any specific requirements, for instance, that says that data should be stored for XYZ month or years. That's also possible to. It's also possible to set up. So backup performance. This is like first part of the answer in terms of best practices. Disaster recovery. This is like really important topic, because if something happens, something bad happens to your Jira instance, you need to be prepared to relocate your Jira instance to some different location, to some different region, for example, to some different Atlassian region, or simply to migrate data between the accounts. That is why GitProtect also allows you to make for example, the cross restore between Jira instances. In terms of disaster recovery, I believe this is the perfect solution that allows you to protect one main organization, one main instance. However, when it comes to restore, you can like simply migrate data to different location, to different instance, if the main one becomes unavailable due to, for example, Atlassian outage. Again, it doesn't happen that often, but still from time to time.
Maybe to add to that,
yeah.
I worked in IT also. It was really interesting to see or to come to companies and ask the question, how many times a day do you back up the Jira instance, right? And most of the time it was like around 12 hours. And to imagine that 12 hours of data is gone, that's quite a lot of money.
Yeah, it's
quite a lot of productivity. The bigger you get as a company, the more it really hurts you, right? So,
yeah, like being able to get back to business and to maintain so-called business continuity as fast as possible, as long as possible, is crucial. Like it's like trivia. This is trivia, what I will say, but basically time is money and time is precious. So the faster you can like get back to your regular business operations, that's better, because like every hour counts. And yeah, that is why also we allow our users to download Jira instance to your local device. For example, if your disaster recovery scenario includes ability to set up a Jira on-premise instance, just in case, we allow our users to simply download such copy, download such backup, and push it as a, let's say, manual import to Jira instance. So even this is like super worst case scenario, but even if like entire Atlassian would face some outage, or the customer will not have an access to the internet network, still, if the access to the data is granted, to the copies, to the backups is granted, still such copy can be downloaded to the local device, and it can be pushed as thanks to manual import to on-premise Jira installation. So even like we like to repeat that there are many possible scenarios, and GitProtect covers like 99% of them. So like from our perspective, no matter what happens, we are prepared, and we do have some solutions to mitigate the issue of being unavailable to continue the work. When it comes to security, like security first, right? And GitProtect, guys, you need to remember that GitProtect is a backup tool. It's a professional backup solution. It's a backup platform. It's not a synchronization platform. We are not copying and we are not pasting the data from one place to another. We are protecting data on every single step. Starting from the very beginning, through the backup process, and we also protect data that are already stored on the storage. You guys can encrypt all backups using your own encryption key. Entire system is composed in so-called zero-knowledge encryption technology. That means that so-called backup agent, which is like an application or device that is responsible for a backup process, such application, such device doesn't have such encryption key all the time. It receives it only during the backup or during the restore process. And once such process is done, such encryption key is removed from this specific device. So from the very beginning, through the backup and restore process as well, we protect data as well as we protect data that is stored on the storage. When it comes to getting the access to the application, we also sorted that out by allowing our users to use their own IDPS services like Azure AD, Okta, CyberArk, anything that can be integrated through SAML and with GitProtect can be integrated over SAML with GitProtect. So you can even manage the access to our service thanks to your IDPS service. It might seem to be like obvious thing that good, reliable backup tool should notify you that backup is done. What is the result of the backup? If there is something like if there is something happened during the backup, perhaps some notifications occurred or some errors occurred, you also should be notified about that right away. And that is why we also are notifying our users about the results of the backup by sending them the email messages. Also, the notification can be sent through Slack channel or any webhook notification can also be set up. So for example, if you use solution like Datadog or similar, or basically you would like to receive all the notifications to your main monitoring system, you can also integrate it with GitProtect over the webhook. So there's like a lot of flexibility also in the area of being notified what was happening inside the system. And ransomware protection, this is quite obvious thing. Accordingly to latest researches, ransomware attacks are happening every 11 seconds, 14 seconds, something like that. Very often, somewhere in the world, someone is getting hit by ransomware, and we do have also solution to that. So, as I said before, you guys can be sure that if GitProtect will start protecting your data, and if such ransomware will attack your storage, that may happen, of course, your backups will be well protected, and even ransomware won't be able to impact the data that are already in the storage. How it's done? You can easily set up so-called immutable storage. That means that some specific parts of data will be written only once, and after that, such data, selected data, cannot be overwritten another time. So even if ransomware will get an access to your storage, it will do literally nothing. What's more important, if for example, one of your employees, developers, will include some executable file, for example, ransomware, to some metadata, to some attachment in Jira, obviously GitProtect will grab it and will send it to the storage. However, due to compression, due to encryption, and some other cryptographic mechanism that are happening in the background, all data that we send to the storage are kept in unexecutable form. So even if one of your employee will include some executable file to the metadata, such file won't be executed on the storage side. So as I said, we protect data on every single step, including the data that is already in the on the storage. So this is like the very, very short summary of Jira backup and restore best practices. Right now, I'm going to jump to live demo, and I will try. I will find out if I manage to do so, but I will try to fulfill all of those best practices during live demo. Obviously, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. Then we will decide if we are going to answer those questions right away, just to keep the context of the question, or we are going to leave the answer to such questions and to the Q&A session that will be organized at the very, very end of today's meeting. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. If not, I'm going to jump to live demo, and I will go through all of those best practices in action.
Sounds great.
So basically, entire journey starts here on GitProtect.io. I will show you how to start using the service. There we go. Because like something happens. Why? Because the first best practice is to implement a plug-and-play solution. So, like we are aware that usually the customers, they don't want to to sacrifice too much time to create, to set up, to configure the solution. It should be provided straight away, and it should be straightforward as much as possible. That is why non-code implementation. What does it mean? It means that you can start using the service right away. How are we gonna do that? It's quite easy. You just need to visit GitProtect.io, and here is the sign up for free button. Once we click it, obviously I need to create an account. It will take literally a couple of seconds. There we go. And literally in a couple of seconds, I will be able to start protecting my Jira instance. So like literally to start using the service, you just need like 5 minutes. And after those 5 minutes, your Jira will be protected, and you will have like peace of mind. And you will be sure that all data that are already in your Jira will be also well protected with GitProtect. So as I said, a couple of seconds, and the application is already running. As you can see, everything is hosted in our cloud environment. So literally, you don't have to deploy, you don't have to install anything. Literally anything on your side, everything is hosted by us, and basically we take entire responsibility for like maintaining your service. The main topic of today's meeting is protecting Jira. That is why we are going to connect my Jira instance with GitProtect. And how are we gonna do that? I will zoom out a little bit. How are we gonna do that? It's quite easy. We just need to provide some crucial credentials. So let me grab my password manager, and let me copy the instance URL, which is gitprotectbackup.atlassian.net. Then we need to paste the username, which is basically my email address, and bam! And basically, it will be the last step of creating a connection between GitProtect and Jira instance. We need to provide a token to prove that we are entitled to add Jira instance to GitProtect. How are we gonna do that? It's quite easy. We just need to generate personal access token, and this is exactly what I'm going to do right now. my Atlassian account is in Polish, but basically I'm quite sure that you guys are familiar with the interface. Okay, let's revoke this one. And now we can create, let's call it like that. And let's copy it. So let's add such token, and all credentials, or all secrets, all tokens are kept in built-in password manager. That is like part of our solution. So all data that is essential to use the service is kept here. And as you can see here, I provided the URL to my instance. I provided my username as well as my personal access token, and basically that's it. My backup will start in 7 hours. Entire system works in an automated way, so you don't have to remember that, okay, tomorrow morning I need to create a backup. No, it will be executed automatically. Obviously, you can modify the backup plan, you can modify the backup scheduler to create it, to execute it as often as you need. Obviously, we are not going to wait 7 hours to trigger that backup. We are going to trigger it manually as planned. And as you can see here, the backup is running. So I will leave the process running in the background. So this best practice is already done, right? We have just implemented the backup tool right away. I visited GitProtect.io. I created a regular account. It was set up in seconds. Then I added my Jira instance, and the backup plan has been added automatically. It will be done on daily basis. Nevertheless, I'm able to modify it to make it more frequent, and all backups will be done accordingly to some scheme, to some, let's say, scenario. First backup is always full one, then we perform incremental and differential backups. Let's take a closer look at, okay, it already finished. As you can see here, my backup is done. I can even take a closer look at what had been included to such backup. And I can see that there was 6 projects and just 1 issue. I'm using some dummy accounts, so the content of my Jira doesn't really matter. Nevertheless, if I'm super curious what have been included specifically, data by data, I'm also able to verify what exactly have been included to such copy. So the backup is done, right? The backup is done, and obviously I did receive the email notification. I have my Gmail inbox opened in separate tab. So let's focus a little bit on being alerted about the backups. So how are we gonna set up the notifications? It's quite simple. If you go to settings, and as you can see, all email notifications are enabled by default. Nevertheless, as I said, you can also set up Slack notification to receive all notifications to Slack channel, as well as you can generate some webhooks. So all the notifications will be pushed, will be sent to your selected system over the webhooks. And additional admin accounts. What does it mean? Usually, GitProtect is managed not only by one person. Usually, GitProtect is managed by more than one administrators. So we decided to allow our users to split the responsibility for managing the system between the team members. So I'm able to set up an additional admin account by doing that manually. I can simply provide the username, which always is an email address. Then I'm able to provide password. Also, and basically what's more important, is that I can set up such additional admin account with specific role and permission level. So I'm able not only to create such accounts, but I'm able also to decide what such account is able to, what such user is able to do inside the system. It can be viewer, for example. In that case, such user is only able to log into the system, and that's it. Like to verify what was happening, verify the logs, verify the task results, and that's it. It's not able to modify anything. Then I can set up some additional admin account with backup operator permission. That means that such user is able to execute the backup, for example, manually, is able to create a backup scheduler, backup task, but it's not able to restore the data. To be able to restore the data, such user needs to be at least, should be restore operator. As the name suggests, such user is able to restore data. The highest level of the highest level of permission is obviously system administrator, and basically system administrator is able to do everything inside the system. What's more important? The most, let's say, critical permission needs to be granted in a separate step, because as I said, this is quite critical permission. For example, to be able to delete data from the storage. I can easily create any of those users with specific permission with or without ability to delete data. So root administrator, like main user, have like full impact on who is able to do what inside the system. So that was additional admin accounts. Multiple storages. As I said, what happens if some storage is unavailable? Well, it's good to have the same copy, the same like backup, however, in separate location. And how are we gonna do that? We can go simply to storages. As you can see here, there is some storage already ended, and this is the storage that we provide by default. Nevertheless, I'm able to bring my own storage, external storage like AWS S3, Azure Blob, Wasabi, Google Cloud Storage, Backblaze, or basically any other S3 compliant storage, so I can also perform backups to those, let's call it external location. Also, GitProtect allows you to keep the data locally, so let's call it on-premise storage. So even if you guys won't have an access to the intranet network, but you will have some backup stored locally, still you will be able to restore the data even without internet connection, because the data will be located, let's say, under the desk, somewhere within your organization. I'm not going to add additional storage just to move forward, but basically there is such possibility. Monitoring and SLA, it will appear in a second on main dashboard. Disaster recovery and cross recovery, I'm going to show it right away. Granular restore, this is something I will focus on in a second. And anti-ransomware protection, this is also it has also been discussed. So let's focus on disaster recovery and cross restore. We have our backup, right? We have our backup because, as we can see here, the backup is completed. It finished successfully. There has been some data sent to the storage. So let's imagine the situation that my main account is not available. I lost the access to it, but still I need to be able to get an access to my own data. How are we gonna do that? Let's jump back to DevOps. And as you can see here, my account, my Jira instance is still there, but basically I don't have an access to it. The instance is gone. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add my additional Jira instance, so I can migrate the data between the instances. And this is like true, let's call it disaster recovery plan, to be able to restore the data between between the instances. And basically the process, the steps I need to take are exactly the same. I need to provide an URL of my just-in-case Jira instance. Then I need to put the username, and again, I need to provide token. I have already generated a token within my Atlassian account, so I'm going to use exactly the same one, and let's proceed. Let me refresh my interface, and as you can see here, my additional Jira instance is already here. So what I have done is I added my main organization, which is called GitProtect Backup, and such organization is already protected. But when it comes to restore, I'm going to restore to different organization, to different location. So how are we gonna do that? Let's go to restore option. Also, I have the possibility to select what version I'm going to restore. Obviously, such backup has been done only once during today's meeting. Nevertheless, if such backup would be executing over and over again, here I would have entire list of available versions. Nevertheless, I'm going to restore the only version I do have, and I can simply select what will be the final destination of the restore process. So let's go with cloud to cloud restore. And this time, let's restore to GitProtect webinar instance, which is my just-in-case instance. And that's it.
Bartosz, I've got a question.
Yeah.
Maybe you can see it as well in the question tab. It's as if you could delete that one issue that was backed up in Jira and show how to restore it from GitProtect.
Can you please delete the one issue that was backed up in Jira and show us how to restore it from GitProtect? Okay, this is a very good question. So let me do that. If I click the name of this instance, I will be forwarded to my to this specific Jira instance. And that's as I said, I'm using a dummy account, so I can easily delete this specific project. However, the restore task is already running, so I will leave it running. But if I jump back to my DevOps and I will open this particular instance, this is my, let's call it restore instance. As you can see here, the import process started automatically, and basically right now everything is on Atlassian side. And right now, Atlassian is responsible for collecting all the data together to provide me the final shape of my original Jira instance. Right now, Divya, you asked really good question, and I can answer this question in two different ways. Today, GitProtect is able to protect entire Jira instance, and when it comes to restore process, we also restore entire Jira instance without going deep to the content of it. So today you are not able to restore only some selected project or issue or attachment or workflow, whatever. But quite soon, I believe in 2, 3, or 4 weeks, let's say around first half of June, so quite soon, we are going to release a new version of GitProtect that will allow you to make the restore process way more granular. So still, we will be protecting entire Jira instance, but when it comes to restore process, you will be able to select you will be able to restore some selected projects, issues, and so on. To be honest with you, I expected that question. That is why I prepared such a version of application that is not available yet, obviously, but obviously I do have an access to it. So let me drag and drop a new version of application that is running like here internally. And as you can see here, I already, like before today's meeting, I added my Jira instance to it. I executed like some backups. However, when it comes to restore, it's way more granular. So it will be an answer to your question that you will be able to restore some selected issues, some selected projects. How are we gonna do that? Well, obviously, I'm only going to show you like an example and what kind of data we will be able to restore. And by data, I'm not referring to entire Jira. I'm referring to some specific types of data. So let's make granular restore. And again, we need to decide what will be the final destination of the restore process. Let's make it to original organization. And then we will be able to decide whether we are going to restore products or, for example, issues, attachments, and workflows. If I select, for example, projects, I'm not able right now, but I will be able to select some desired ones. So for example, these two projects will be restored. However, this one in the middle will be simply excluded from the restore process. So as I said, to make long story short, quite soon, in 2, 3, or 4 weeks, well, until the first half of June, GitProtect will allow you to restore the data on granular level. So you will be able to decide whether products will be restored, issues, attachments, and workflows. So you won't be obligated to restore entire Jira as it is right now. Because today, as I said, entire Jira instance is protected, and entire Jira instance with all the content of it is restored to the same Jira instance, to different Jira instance, like cloud instance, or entire Jira instance can be downloaded to your local device and it can be imported to your, for example, on-premise installation. Let's figure out how my restore process ended. And as you can see here, this is GitProtect webinar. So this was my just in case instance. And as you can see here, all the projects are there. So basically, the restore process succeeded. And also here we have like clear confirmation that restore process is also successfully finished, and also we can verify what exactly have been restored to different accounts.
Amazing. That looks really good. So in between the in between the restore process, also when we work with the Jira instance, what GitProtect does in the backend is to produce differential backups, right? So we don't have to wait every 7 hours to do a backup, but we have regular updates of the full backup so that we can jump back to a different point in time and recover an issue with the details from that time, correct?
Yes, correct. And basically, I can show it right now. I will execute the backup manually and as planned. So the previous copy that GitProtect did was the full one. So we grabbed 100% of data and sent it to the storage. But right now, GitProtect is performing incremental backup. So it should finish a little bit faster because I believe there is no just changes and on modifications. And as you can see here, it's already done. Let's jump back here. And yeah, it's also succeeded. So I can be sure that this particular copy is also finished with success. And to verify how it looks during the restore process. Let me jump back here. And here we have like two separate versions of the same instance, of the same backup copy. This one is incremental. Hopefully it's visible to you guys. This one is incremental. However, if I would desire to restore the full one, I'm able to restore the full one. From user perspective, it doesn't really matter which version is about to be restored, whether it's full, whether it's incremental, whether it's differential. The steps are exactly the same. The process is also exactly the same. So from the user's experience perspective, it doesn't really matter.
Amazing. It's also a really good use case for the Atlassian Enterprise Cloud, right? So like one data center is currently not working. There's a problem maybe. You can set up a new instance in a new area, in a new region, and you can just back up and restore your whole site to a new instance, and you can work there. That's amazing.
This is exactly what I did. I protected this specific instance. Let's assume that my main organization, my main environment is not available, so I can create an alternative account in different region. Let's assume this is this one, and we can easily recover all the data to this specific account. And in the meantime, I also deleted one project. I'm not sure if you guys remember that I deleted one specific product. And after the synchronization, by the way, synchronization is also happening in automated way. Nevertheless, I'm able to synchronize data automatically. GitProtect detects that one product is missing, and it's also displayed here. So if new backup would be executed, it would contain, as I said, GitProtect lets you to migrate your data between the regions, between the accounts. Obviously, I'm not going to show it to you because it's too obvious. What I mean is that GitProtect also lets you to restore the data to the same organization. However, in that case, all data would be overwritten, so I'm not going to do that right now. But basically, I did show you how to set up a backup environment, how to create a backup, how to execute the backup, and how to restore the data. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask.